What's going on, Derek?
What's going on, brother?
Hey, so like another episode, Finding Your Place. Look, we're on a quest for 1,000 subscribers. That's all we want.
That's all we want.
1,000 subscribers,
we
man.
need
Come
your
on.
support. I keep saying it. We thank you for every
IG
view.
Live. Go over to YouTube and subscribe to the Scott Bunn channel over there on YouTube.
Subscribe. Let me know in here if the sound is going good. Last time it faded, so I apologize. So please subscribe to the channel, Scott Bunn. We're trying to get those views. We're trying to get those subscribers. We're trying to pop this bottle, so help us out.
No doubt, no doubt. What's going on, dude? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, Weston. Merry Christmas. Just trying to finish up with everything. This time of year is always stressful because you try to budget for the holidays and make sure that everybody gets something.
Terrible at that.
It's hard, but I've found that trying to set your budget early, a couple weeks before, when you start the rush, you won't just start paying $50 a present, something like that. You know, if you give everybody $25, something like that, then you might be in the ballpark.
Amazon got way too much money. Way too much. I'm glad. I had to pretty much exit out all Amazon.
Right.
Try to silence all the orders shipped. Every time Amazon would tell me an order was coming, I'd go back and order more things.
You order more things, right?
It's something there's got. I'm addicted.
Yeah,
I'm addicted, bro.
It's something about going on there, literally typing it in. It pulls up. Okay, check the reviews.
Yeah.
Can it get here? I got a Prime account, and and unfortunately, the brick and mortar stores
that suffers.
They suffer.
Yeah.
Actually transition from your car to go into a store. Some people still love that, but that monster of the online presence is really hurting a lot of businesses.
Definitely, man. I mean, I even went into a local electronics shop because I was gonna try to buy a new MacBook Pro, the newer edition and whatnot.
Yeah.
They didn't even have the computers anymore. They'd gotten out of that business because Best Buy and Amazon and direct to consumer, through Apple.
Right.
Just everybody's just doing their shopping online. So it's kind of sad for the local mom and pop.
Right. It is very sad because back in the day, going to the mall was the thing to do.
Yeah. Were you a mall rat?
No, I wasn't a mall rat, but Foot Locker. Hey, look, I'm going to throw y'all back. I remember Foot Locker in Christiansburg when they had the goal hanging up with all the signatures on it.
Right.
Back when you could find Jordans on the shelf at any time when it wasn't a retro release.
Right.
Like that's how far back. I remember the fountain.
Yeah, the mall fountain.
The mall fountain.
Yeah.
To take y'all back, and that used to be a thing. And what was a really big thing was if your parents had a day to where y'all could go to Roanoke or go to the outlet malls or something like that. That was big.
Yeah, they used to have those outlet malls down in Whitfield, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. And that right there next to the highway.
Right.
I think that's 77.
Yeah, 81 interchange is right there when everything shifts.
Yeah, that was huge, going to you actually pick out something and, so I don't even know if we have any dedicated shoe stores in this area other than Journeys, right?
Well, there's Super Shoes and there's something over near TJ Maxx.
Okay.
But that's it, though.
Gotcha. Yeah. Gotcha. I remember last time we were on here, we were talking and we were talking about getting into the military stuff.
Yeah.
Did we want to save that?
Oh no, I'm gonna let's get there.
My bad. I didn't want to.
Hey, look, man, we're just chilling.
I didn't want to. I didn't know. I didn't want to rush you. I didn't want to jump the gun. But I'm in the same boat. A lot of my things that I got for people, I did lean on Amazon because it is easy, and thankfully the packages arrived when they did.
Yeah.
So
bro, check this out. I'm obsessed with TikTok.
Right.
I don't know if you know that. But dude, TikTok, there was this video. This dude showed this girl using this bagel slicer, right? This bagel slicer. And she did this video and it got 2 million views.
Okay.
And he did the rundown if she was an Amazon affiliate and the percentages of if this many people went and clicked on her link and this many people bought her thing, she'd have made this amount of money. He did some math where if the amount of views she got, if she just got 0.5% of people actually went and bought the product, she'd have made $50,000
off of that one thing.
Off of the one video. Ain't that wild?
That's crazy. Where did he find those analytics? Like,
well, he was just doing some
was
theoretical things. Like, 2 million people, they clicked on her link, they looked at the product, and then just like a small percentage of them made a purchase because they liked that product. If that would have happened, which would have been very reasonable for it to happen that way, because it was a good product. And what her video was doing was, it was one of those like satisfying content pieces, right?
those are big.
Yeah. Like, that crisp cut of the bagel, right?
Yeah. Like, what do they call that? Not ASR. What do they call those sounds that people like to hear? Like,
I don't know.
People listen to people filing papers,
Right.
Or people chewing gum. It's weird. I think it's called AS, something like that.
Yeah.
But it's a whole category on that. Yeah.
Right. But either way, I'm just saying, like, if you can go and review product, or you go and do some things, you're an entertaining person, people are watching you, and you can get some sort of moment like that to get attention, to continuously be able to review products and do stuff like that. Wow.
Big time.
I mean, wow. $50K off of a bagel slicer.
Right.
Amazon commissions are legit.
Yeah. I thought about this too. If we were in a position where we were on a status of being like this YouTube channel really blowing up.
Yeah.
I don't understand why other celebrities don't endorse each other a little bit more, because let's say you put out a video and I say, hey, this is my good friend. If you support my music, go share this. Every one of my followers, I want you to head over to his page right now, follow him, share his video, share it everywhere you can. Yeah. Like, that would literally boost each person. Like, so like, of course. And maybe people do that and I don't see it.
Yeah.
But I don't know why, if you had that type of footprint in the business, why you wouldn't use that and say, hey, I want my friend to get 500,000 followers by Monday.
This space, there's plenty of opportunity to do that. Like in the content space, my voice is different than your voice. I can support you and we're not really competing. You can support me and we're not really competing.
Right.
We're too, like, in the real estate game is different.
Right.
In the real estate game, I can't go, John Smith over here at this other company here locally, go support him. No, I gotta protect that. I gotta say, that's me. I need you to come in. But in this space, yeah, if we had, and that's really, as content creators, that's how you do blow up, is I got something, you got something. My buddy Reggie Grubb and, everybody else that we're, Marie March, we're all trying to, like, bring exposure to each other.
Right.
That type thing.
Right.
So,
and I think that's awesome. I think I seen the episode with the guy on here, Ryan, and like, for him to be local, for him to find a niche and really push it, like, that's big.
You talking about Reggie?
Reggie,
dude. So do you know Reggie?
I don't know him, but after you mentioned it, I went and looked at some of his content.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious.
Honestly, it's sad too, because he had 100,000 followers and he got wiped out. His content his page got deleted.
So they can do that?
They can. TikTok, if you violate community standards, or if you, pretty much, like, he wasn't doing anything that should violate. I mean, it's free speech. It's really it's free speech there, and it's a shame that he worked that hard. But the comeback's going to be great. When he can go and replicate that and do it again. Hopefully they just don't keep shutting him down though. So, it's wild though. You can go out there and be passionate about something, start talking about something, and then this company that holds the content can tell you that you're violating their standards. Like, where do the people just say enough, on that? Like, that's craziness.
And I think we kind of mentioned that last time. Like, it starts out small scale. If I say something on here and I'm on live, or somebody doesn't appreciate it, or I don't like Derek talking about that or whatever, that's your personal opinion. But like I said, no one should be looking into those things to get offended. Yeah. This is somebody's platform.
And there should be no authority that stops that speech. Like, there should be public support or public shame off of something that you say in the public forums if it's right or wrong.
Right.
If the public says it's wrong, then they don't support you. If the public says it's right, then you can benefit off the support that the public will bring. But there shouldn't be government or overlordship of someone's speech.
Right.
You know?
Right. And just to cancel that content. Hopefully he had it backed up and saved. It'd be really hard to recreate.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. And he's just a content monster.
Right.
Like we can both like use him as an example to like, especially on a platform that you like. You know, I know you like Instagram. You're probably spending most of your time on Instagram.
Right.
I would say that, and I love the repurposed content that you did, about love. The last episode, how you had to do that. You did it kind of like warfare style, like you didn't know any other way but just screen record the section so you see like the YouTube banner. And
I wanted to keep all that in there so people know.
Right.
And not to cut you off, but I wanted people to know about where they can find the full episode. I mean, it's all right there for them.
Right.
And then the next one I did, I kind of edited it down a little bit, but basically I just went on YouTube on my phone, pulled up our segment of the last episode, which was 16 that we did.
Yeah.
And I went through the whole thing, and then I wrote down time marks of what I wanted to capture. And then whenever I do that, I'll throw it back on there. It might be 2 minutes or 3 minutes, but that's just to pull people in so they can go and watch, the full thing. Shout out to Terrell Burks. He told me he loved it. He watched the full episode, and other people have commented on it as well. And I want to address something right quick.
All right.
Even me being on live, a lot of people came to me with positive feedback about the relationship thing. The only reason that I even shared that is because I've experienced it myself.
Yeah.
Like I said in our last episode, this came from failure.
Yeah.
Like I said, you should not be communicating with your partner at 36 years old the same way you did at 20.
Yeah.
So people are like, oh, well, you're just trying to portray like you have everything figured out. No. I'm saying that it took me 16 years to get that knowledge.
Yeah.
It took me 16 years to be in a relationship where we sit down and talk to each other.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rose, by the way. It took me 16 years to be able to figure out that you can have disagreements and they can be healthy, meaning I'm not going to belittle you. I'm not going to try to overtalk you. I'm not going to try to say that your points aren't valid. Just because I may not feel what you feel doesn't mean that your point is not valid. Yeah. So a lot of people were commenting on that, and I was telling them, no, I only shared that one segment because I've experienced it and I put work into it. Now, is it hard every time to have a disagreement or conversation with your partner about something serious? Yes. I'm just saying those are guidelines that might help you because it's very easy to stray away from something. I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be perfect. I'm just saying that I implement that in my life, and I've still made mistakes. Like I've made big mistakes that have affected people, that have hurt people.
Do we ever master love? Do we ever master
the
opposite sex?
I don't think you'll ever master it because I feel like sometimes we look for things in our partner, in people, and we have to remember that they have their own identity. They can put energy into things that they want to or not. It just depends on what they choose. And I think sometimes being in love, being close to someone, it does help you evolve and grow because you're learning not only about yourself, but about them too, and it's hard to do sometimes because taking a step back, and like we're talking about right now, taking a step back and looking at a situation, a lot of people can't do that in the moment. You need space, you need time to be able to do that. And there's nothing wrong with that. So I just wanted to come on and say that I have messed up. I have made big mistakes. I have done something that wasn't intentional to hurt someone, and I still did. But it's just because of how they felt about it. But that doesn't mean that their feelings aren't valid. It just means that in my heart of hearts, I'm sorry. And I wish I could change it. Yeah. But I didn't,
I feel like we all treat the people around us the way that we want to be treated, and some people's standards are lesser and some people's standards are higher. And It's hard. It's hard.
It's hard, yeah.
Because like at the end of the day, there's something in us that's selfish.
Yes.
And we don't understand. Like for me, it's been very challenging to have to, 38 years of pretty much single life,
Right.
Trying to incorporate someone else's feelings and thoughts and care for them as much as I care for me.
Right.
That's been a really big challenge for me. So, I mean, I love that advice. I mean, when you repurposed that was like, man, that's really good stuff.
Especially for you and other people, because like I said, I'm only talking about something that I implement myself. Yeah. You being in the position that you're in, trying to consider someone else's feelings when you're only used to marching at your own beat.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah.
You're used to answering to Scott. You're used to making decisions for Scott.
Yeah.
Now you're making decisions in your delivery and how you approach things to another person, and that is a big step. I think that the hard thing is when you do make a mistake, you apologize, but it sits with you. And you don't want to keep revisiting that situation, but you just want the person to know that I am truly sorry. Because, Scott, if you lied to me, that doesn't make you a liar. That means you lied to me about that situation, right? That means that I have to be open to understanding that you lied to me in that moment, and that moving forward, we're gonna work past that. We're gonna work on being honest with each other. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that I deem you as a liar for the rest of your life.
Right.
Because we all lie. Yeah. I don't care if it's your wife was cooking dinner and you stopped for a quick burger on the way home. And she asked you, have you ate all day? And you say, no, you lied, brother.
Yeah, but you're trying to protect her feelings at that point.
Yes, and there's different reasons for why people do it.
Yeah.
You want to come home and be thankful and enjoy the meal, because what I've learned, when someone prepares a meal for you, and I didn't always understand this, that is so much time and energy, because they work a full schedule. They have just as many stresses as you have. They had a rough day, and now they have to come home and really try to make a meal taste good, and they're doing it for you. That's love and effort and appreciation. Yeah. Not just, hey, I need this food because I'm hungry. The older you get, especially as men, a woman, your partner, whoever, can set a plate down for you and say, hey, I made this for you. And you may just be hungry and you may eat it. But take a second and think about what went into that, because it took me years to be able to figure that out.
Yeah.
But there's people out there that have figured that out a long time ago. But it's about effort and energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, you lying about like the burger that you ate, you lying about, hey, why'd you get the rest of these groceries? Oh no, everything was on sale. Everything was 2 for $5. Right? You don't want her mad at you. You just want to smooth it over.
Right.
And you're not trying to maliciously lie.
Yeah.
You just don't want her to be mad at you.
Right.
So people do lie for different reasons, but that doesn't make them a liar.
Yeah.
It just means that, hey, I didn't want to hurt your feelings. I want to smooth this over. I don't want you to be mad because I bought another gun.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
There's a protection agent in there. As a man, I feel like that's something that's just deep in us, is we don't want our women to like be frustrated or angry or irritated, and we're trying to guard against that.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing.
And when you're trying to guard against it, and that's like, your partner asking you, how do I look in this outfit? You may not have paid attention until they walked around the corner, but you're like, whoa,
yeah,
you look great, right? What if the outfit is not something that you particularly like? Are you going to say, I'm not really feeling that one? Yeah. No. You're going to say, you still look great.
Yeah.
Because you care about their feelings. You care about their emotions behind it. Maybe they have a lot of anxiety built up about leaving the house anyway.
Yeah.
So why would you add to that? So there are different levels, you're right, to protect. And that doesn't make you a liar.
Right.
It just means that you told a white lie in a moment,
right,
to push you through.
Yeah. And to protect feelings of someone that you like. How can you be so brutal and harsh to someone that you love so much?
That's true. Yeah. And you're going to, and another thing that I wanted to tell is, I got some feedback And when you really love someone, when you disappoint them, when you frustrate them, when you fall short of the expectation of you in that relationship, you feel conviction. Same way people do like with religion, with God, right? You feel conviction when you don't do the right thing. It's nobody like disciplining you, but it's God's way of showing you like, hey, you know you messed up and you're going to feel it. And the same thing goes in relationships. I know if I fall short of an expectation, if I fall short of, because as men, we question our manhood so much.
Right.
What is that, right? We'll get into that.
Yeah.
What is that, right? And
it's pride and ego.
Right. Which are good and bad things, right? So when you fall short of something, it really eats you up and that conviction is there. And you just want to be able to like fix it and let the person know like, hey, I'm not just apologizing because you're mad at me, but I am sorry because of the way it made you feel. Yeah. You know? And I think that that's a huge step. And actually, I learned this from my sister. She's on here right now. What's going on, Morgan? Apologizing specifically for what the issue is, not a blanket apology, right? I think we mentioned that last time. Sitting the person down and saying, hey, I don't know all the ways that I made you feel, but I know I did this, and I'm sorry for these specific things. So they can know that you really are paying attention, you know? And I think that that's important. And like I said, I didn't mean to get on here like Dr. Phil or something like that. I literally was just sharing stuff that.
It's funny how conversations lead to like passion and like, you know, like what's on your heart,
right?
You know, and I love the fact that, you know, we're supposed to be talking about you being a comedian and we're giving love advice.
Hey, because it's real.
It is.
It's real. Like I got choked up.
Yeah.
I told Rose I got choked up on the last show because when you asked me about love, that was a time period where I was going through something that was very difficult.
Yeah.
And I did not want to talk about it on the show.
Yeah.
But like it's still, I can't say enough about it. And other than, you know, a situation where I am open to change. I am open to hearing how I hurt this person.
Yeah.
I am open to hearing suggestions of how to make it better. I'm open to tell you that I love you and I want to fix it. Yeah. And I'm saying all that right now, not because I'm on here, but I'm saying that legitimately because I felt like I needed to, you know? And so me coming on here and talking about those things is because it's not me just trying to give people advice and something that sounds good. I put this into practice because I wanted my relationship to grow.
That's awesome.
And I wanted that person to feel that they can come and talk to me.
Yeah.
And we can say things that are not going to be easy to swallow, but it's because you care and you just want to make sure that that person understands how you feel. Yeah. Basically.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
All right, let's take them back. Let's rewind. I wanted to get into some of the, like, who you are. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I want this audience to know who you are. You know, like that's the key. Like we need to get them familiar with you. They need to give you, they need to give you attention. You need to get them to somewhere where you can give them content that they're starving for.
Right.
So let's just, you're a military vet. Right. I want to know your history in the military. I want to really know the mindset you were in to make that decision. Let's start there.
Okay.
You're out of high school, you're trying to make a decision on your life, or just tell me that. Just map out when you was like military is probably a viable option for me. Okay.
And I want to make sure I stay specifically on topic here. To start out, when I graduated high school here in Christiansburg, that was in 2004. I had this weird dream that my mediocre self was going to end up on somebody's team. Wasn't going to happen. I wasn't going to go D1, D2, maybe JUCO. And there's nothing wrong with JUCO because a lot of guys.
So you had football dreams.
I had football dreams. I had wrestling dreams. I had dreams that I think every young man has, but it wasn't obtainable. Yeah. Like I wasn't at that level. Here's what I want to say. I became a great athlete in the military through discipline.
Yeah.
But I did not have that at the time when I was graduating high school. I can play any sport.
Yeah.
Pretty decent. But I had to like be real with myself as a man. I wasn't a D1 athlete. And that's hard to swallow because you see some of your friends that are, you see some of the things that happen. So basically what I'm trying to say is my mom had to sit me down. She had to tell me, Derek, you're not going to get a scholarship. Wow. Imagine that conversation, right? Yeah. But you know why she had to do that? Because she saw me blindly trying to chase things that weren't going to happen. Yeah. We weren't in a position to pay for college. We weren't. Most of my family have either served in the military, police, some form of duty. And my grandfather, rest in peace, he did 23 years. I grew up watching him shine his boots, iron his uniform, go to drill. I was there when he got back from Saudi Arabia, so it's in my blood. My mom told me, she said, and if Zach Nagel and them see this, at the time, Zach, Andrew, Matt Cooper, not to name drop these fellas, but Andrew Howery, they were, Terrence Saunders, they were all going towards their college careers. Yeah. That also wasn't something that I was ready for at that time.
Right.
So my mom was like, hey, you have to let them live their lives. They were all together. They were having fun. They were going to school. I mean, we had a blast, right?
Yeah.
But that was not my lane. I could not follow that.
Yeah.
So I took a short temporary job in Blacksburg at the Tetra company. I think they make filters for fish tanks and stuff like that. Let me tell you, I still have nightmares about that place. That was one of the hardest jobs I've ever had.
So just a product line?
Product line.
Yeah.
Just on the line, assembly,
yeah,
carbon on you, dirt,
yeah,
hot. What broke my heart, and this is an honest story, you can ask my mom. One day I was at lunch in this factory. Everybody came into the lunchroom on their break. We were working 12-hour shifts. At the time, I didn't even have my own car out of high school. Couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
I wasn't one of the kids that their families came to them and I was blessed with a car. I rode with Josh Lincoln, Brad Foster. I rode with everybody, right? Yeah. I was paying my grandfather gas money weekly to make sure that I could get to work. I had my license. I had everything. It's just that in my immediate family, my mom was a single parent. We had one car. So that car was dedicated to her to get to work.
Yeah.
Now, in my mind, I thought that it was always going to be that way. Me, my mom, and my sister in the same household forever. Ain't that crazy? Right. Like the way you think about stuff?
Yeah.
Being at Tetra that day at lunch, everybody came in. This girl came in that looked exactly like my sister. She had been working there for years. Years. And it almost made me tear up because she was at lunch talking about how rough things were for her, her kids being at home. And I said, Lord, please, I'm not saying nothing against these people, but this can't be my life. Please don't let me get lost in this factory.
Yeah.
You know, and there's nothing wrong with it. I just felt really depressed.
Right.
And from that day, I remember that girl sitting there talking, and I remember telling my mom, like, hey, I got to make something shake. So I didn't even tell my mom. I went to the recruiting station here. Sergeant Lawless was his name. This is when the recruiting station was behind soft cloth. That's not even there anymore.
Right.
I went and I expedited things. I was like, look,
you
don't have to worry about.
Get me out.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about trying to butter me up, tell me all this and that. What do I need to do?
Yeah.
At the time, I was coming off of a football, I think. So I was about 230 at the time. I knew I needed to drop 30, 35 pounds off, from jump.
Right.
One of my good friends, Stuart, he came to me and he said, listen, man, I believe in you. We're going to grind. You're going to eat right. We're going to study, and we're going to run. And I thank him to this day because he helped prepare me to go into the military. So after I got all that out the way, I went to MEPS. I had already taken my ASVAB. I had sworn in. I had selected my job. I said a prayer. I said, God, if you give me a chance to get out of Christiansburg, I don't care what they make me do. I don't care if they make me eat dirt. I'm going to do it to get that uniform.
Right.
That's the mindset you got to have. And that's the mindset I've even told myself I got to have now about things, right? If you want it.
Yeah.
I just knew that the military had done good for my family, and I figured that at the time as a young man, it could change my life.
Yeah.
It could give me purpose. It could give me direction, motivation, the things I needed, right?
Yeah.
Structure.
And survive it in its security.
Right. Surviving, right?
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
I came home with a book bag. I went to MEPS. My mom didn't even know it.
Wow.
I walked down the driveway with an Army jacket and a book bag. And I told my mom I was leaving in 10 days. She fell out. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
You know, she was upset.
She was
crying.
devastated.
Devastated.
Yeah.
Right? You know, why would you do that? Like, she told me, don't worry about trying to make money, trying to take care of me and your sister. You can stay here. You can get a little apartment. We can be good. And some days that don't sound too bad.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? No. It's got to be bigger than that, you know? Yeah. So to speed this process up, I joined the Army on active duty March 9th, 2005. My first experience was going to basic training at Fort Knox, Kentucky. School of Hard Knocks is what we called it. When I went through, I still had the BDUs, the summer and winter sets, right? That still had to be ironed and pressed. I had the black boots we still put kiwi on and shined. And if anybody has done that, you know it's a process. But that uniform was, I mean,
crisp.
Crisp.
Yeah.
And it had to be. Yeah. Basic training, it was something else. I'm telling you. There were plenty of days where I told myself, hey, I think that I could probably get a cab and go home. I'm serious. Like it'll make or break you. And this is back when the basic training that I went through was different from Fort Jackson, South Carolina. We were not co-ed. There was not male and female at my basic training. It was all male. Bravo 246 was the company I was with. So you could imagine the verbiage that the drill sergeants could use if it's all males.
Yeah.
They were not limited. Let me just say that, you know.
This wasn't the PC military that we got to run with now, right?
This was different. And people will say, oh, well, that wasn't that long ago. But if you think about it, it was.
Yeah.
So they were not shorthanded with insults, comments, your mom, this or that. I'll kick your what. You know what I'm saying? Like it was rough. Yeah. I remember the first phone call that I got was at a payphone across the street a couple weeks in at basic training. My mom picked up the phone. As soon as I heard her voice, I cried. She said, Derek, hang in there. Stick it out. You can do it. One of the guys came behind me and tapped me on the shoulder and tried to tell me that I needed to hurry up on my phone call because he wanted, but I understood what he was doing. He was at the end of the line and wanted to get more time. I almost turned around and squared up on this dude because you are really cutting into the time I'm talking to my mom right now, you know? So it was crazy. But anybody that's ever been to Fort Knox, they know about the 3 hills: misery, agony, and heartbreak. These are 3 hills that you can Google. Please, somebody go Google it right now.
Weston, let's hear that.
Google Fort Knox, Kentucky, misery, agony, and heartbreak hills. These are hills that you will road march while you're there. I don't know if they still do it, but they do them in a sequence because they will break you. One of those hills has such a steep grade that vehicles can't even go on it.
Wow.
You're literally looking at the pavement in front of you walking up the hill. I mean,
you're like,
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's nuts. And these are requirements that they wanted you to do in basic training, you know, while you're going through.
Yeah. So you literally climbed a hill you thought you was going to die on.
I literally, before we descended first to go up the other side. I was like, there's no way. Like you're looking, it looks like a valley. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no way we're doing this. And, but you push through those hard times because you have a goal. You know that your battle buddies are doing it. And I always told myself, if the man in front of me and the man behind me still walking, I should be able to too. And the camaraderie that we had pushing each other, we all were there getting letters from home, talking about what truck we were going to buy when we got out. Let me tell you this, as a private E1, right? Enlisted E1, my first check was $520 some. I went nuts. 500? I was making a $160 every 2 weeks bagging groceries at Wade's when Wade's was open.
Right.
500? I thought, man, I'm rich. And we were all sitting around talking about, hey, we're going to do this with the money. We're going to do that with the money. I had never had money like that before.
Yeah.
Now $500 don't pay your rent.
Yeah.
But that shows you perspective, right?
Yeah.
And what you're happy with at the time.
Yeah.
That $500 was everything. And you save up so much money while you're in basic training that you can send money home or you can buy that vehicle you want when you get out.
Yeah.
Fast forward, graduated basic, had family day where the family can come see you for that day. I went to AIT, which is Advanced Individual Training at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. Reason being is because my MOS, right? So I had to go train on a lot of heavy equipment. D7 dozers, road graders, scrapers, 5-yard bucket loaders. They had each section at Fort Leonard Wood that you could go train on, and you had to learn your job. AIT was harder, almost discipline-wise, than basic, because our drill sergeants at AIT were nuts. Crazy. And this is the first time that we integrated male and female soldiers in the same barracks. Right? So I remember I got to be in charge of formation one day, march the soldiers to and from chow to go eat, calling cadence. That was my favorite thing, to call cadence. My favorite, hands down. If they had a job in the Army right now where you could just go call cadence,
you'd sign back up.
Yeah, do it in a heartbeat. Like, it's great. And so after AIT, after I graduated AIT, now basic was, don't get me wrong, y'all gonna cut me up for this. I forget how many weeks it was. My AIT was almost 15 weeks. Right after AIT, I came home to Christiansburg and did hometown recruiting for 2 weeks for like a break.
Yeah.
Right after that, and I went around to all the schools and try to get people signed up and stuff, and to show them like, hey, I came from here.
Yeah,
you can do it too.
I'm doing this. This is my life. This is what I'm leading towards.
Right.
Yeah.
And, showing people that it is something that is doable.
Yeah.
Coming home and spending that time with my family was great, because my grandfather, he was proud of me because, my grandfather was proud of me because I had a uniform now. Yeah. I had an identity.
You followed his example. You followed like the legacy that he set up. You're kind of mapping his legacy.
Right. And I was like, I got this figured out. I'm 19, 18. I do 20 years. I'll be 37, 38, and I'll be retired.
Yeah.
Still young.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm doing it. What you don't know is that when you have that plan, the Army takes its big green fist and starts rocking you, because you have no idea what you're about to step into. Yeah. Now, mind you, right after AIT at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, I came home, like I said, to do hometown recruiting. I got orders to go to Fort Hood, Texas, my first duty station. If anybody knows anything about Fort Hood, it's wild. Texas compared to Christiansburg, Virginia, is like the other side of the world. I mean, they literally have, and I think it's very interesting, the way people live in LA is so much different the way that people live in San Diego, or so, what I'm saying, like different places. Yeah. Texas is its own world.
Yeah.
I'd never seen stuff like that. So once I got to Fort Hood, my first unit was Charlie Company, 62nd Engineer Battalion. And I remember first getting there and just seeing these giant men, scary guys. And I was like, here we go, all over again. Like, I'm not going to catch a break, right?
Right.
You get your barracks room, you go to get your initial issue, your CIF stuff, you meet your unit, you meet your platoon sergeant. I had a platoon sergeant. His name was Sergeant First Class Keith Stanton. To this day, no, he's a legend.
Yeah.
This man was 6'3", 260 pounds.
Wow.
And could run the 2-mile tested run that we have to do, timed run,
right, in
about 13 and a half minutes at almost 40 years old.
Wow.
At that size.
Wow.
He was a machine.
Yeah.
So when you would get in trouble, he would tell you, you want blood or you want ink. What he meant was, I can write you up, it can go in your jacket, or I can run it out of you. And when he said that, he meant it. So of course you're going to pick the run because you don't want negative remarks in your folder.
Yeah.
But he got it out of you. And I respect that man to this day because he taught me a lot about life. He taught me a lot about becoming a man. I looked at him as a father figure because I seen how he led his family and how he structured things. Great guy. There was a picture on Facebook. Someone saw him running on the road near the base, still to this day. He retired years ago, and he's still out running 8-9 miles a day.
Wow.
I asked him, why did he do it? He told me that he got in trouble one time and wanted to get into a fist fight with someone. If he did, he would have lost his rank, lost pay, lost a lot of traction. So he took all that anger and took off running. He said by the time he looked up, he had ran 10 miles.
Wow.
And the whole time he was singing like praise and worship songs in his head. So every time that he would get mad, he would tell people, y'all can't bother me because I'm going to do more to myself than you can. Right?
Right.
So every time he get bothered, you see him. He would take off, head shaking, going. And I know that he was fixing his stuff while he was running. So shortly after I got to my unit at Fort Hood, we got orders to go to Iraq. Now, mind you, my recruiter told me and my dad that I wouldn't see combat. Now, this is when Bush was in office. Right? This was right after we experienced 9/11. I was in Coach Litton's math class, 10th grade. I believe this is just a couple years after that happened when we had a surge of patriots and people that wanted to serve because, hey,
we're going after them.
We're going after. Yeah, you know, you don't do this to us. You know, hey, we're going to respond. The Army then was very accepting of numbers because they go through cycles. When the numbers get too high,
they let go.
They let go, right? Numbers are too low.
Recruit.
We're going to maybe expand the left and right limits a little bit, right? When I got to Iraq and Baghdad, I was still 19. I'd only been in my unit 6 months. So that first tour, I did a year in Iraq. And I was a Humvee gunner. I was on top of the Humvee on a gun.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
So you took some people out.
My dad asked me that same question. And all I can say is we protected each other, right? We made sure that we kept everybody safe. We made sure that we didn't do anything that was wrong. If we saw enemy contact, if we saw muzzle flashes, if we knew we were taking fire from a certain area, that got radioed up so that transmission went through, and we then, would follow our procedures.
Dude,
right?
you were in the danger zone. I mean, if you're the guy on that seat, that's the guy they want to take out first.
That's the guy they want to take out first.
You know,
that's that's the guy that you're the lowest enlisted. So of course you're going up top because the guys in the truck, they've already done that. Yeah. The sergeant's already done that. The driver's already done that. And you always left one seat open in the Humvees. I think those were 1152s, I believe, the Humvees. They had the flat bottom. I think they had stage 3 armor. Not that good, but at the time we felt okay.
Right.
And
I mean, would that even stop a 7.62 round?
It would. It would. The ballistics glass would. Now they couldn't take a lot of multiple rounds in the same area because
you can't stop no 50 cal with that, right?
No, not and the biggest thing that I wanted to say is the biggest thing that we were scared of was the IEDs.
Yeah.
The IEDs are and still probably will be the biggest casualty producing object against U.S. and coalition forces ever, right? The only time that we've ever had higher numbers is when we've had like the Civil War when both sides have been from the same foundation, right? So IEDs, if people don't know what those are, I'm sure you do, is an improvised explosive device. When I tell you that I've seen people take manure, nuts and bolts, something that can create shrapnel when the blast goes, and take pressure cookers and take different items that are household items, HME, homemade explosives, Timothy McVeigh, right? And flip cars with it. You wouldn't believe it.
That's crazy.
Flip Humvees, flip vehicles. I mean, totally destroy things. And they make them out of literally nothing.
Wow.
So when people are like, oh, man, I don't get it. Those people, they're farmers, they're this, they're that. No. They're young kids that get propositioned by the Taliban and things like that to say, hey, if you keep a lookout for us, if you put this in the road, 1, we won't kill your family. 2, here's a little bit of money because we know you're poor. what are you going to do?
You gotta go where survival goes.
You know, you're going to do that, you know?
Yeah.
So that was in Iraq. Let me not get too far ahead. So Iraq, we did a lot of convoys, a lot of route clearance. We did a lot of security stuff. We did a lot of, we built a lot of bases as well. So
that was a large part of your training, right?
Yeah,
getting
right.
the roads developed and that type of stuff, right?
So that, you know, I'm traveling everywhere because once we went to an area and we improved the area, the next thing we were doing, we were leaving. So now that puts us back on these routes, and now you're exposed, right? You're back on the hardball road. You're exposed. You need to be vigilant. I remember one time we were in a small area, market area, and we had to, our Blue Force tracker, which was like our GPS at the time, threw us off. And my TC had to take us in this route through this market. The sun was going down, so it was getting a little bit dangerous. I was on top of the Humvee on the 50 cal, and I'm monitoring my sector. You don't worry about your other sectors. Somebody else has that.
Yeah.
You monitor yours.
Yeah.
I remember it was a U-turn that we had to take through this market. It was all lit up. Every light was on. All of a sudden, the power cut to the whole block. My heart sank. I was like, we're fit to get attacked. I just knew it, you know? So everybody kind of pucker factor was tight.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It was a generator issue. We were able to get out of there, stuff like that. But those little moments really lead up to some of the stuff that I experienced. So not to bore y'all to death. So my first tour was in Iraq. That was 12 months. I came back home.
What's active duty pay?
Active duty pay. So
your life's on the line. What are you getting?
Life's on the lines. Let's say you're an E3, and I can check. We can have Weston check this. But back in the day, I think we were making hazardous fire pay, which was an extra couple $100. I think it's more now. So you could potentially make an extra $1,000 a month by being in a combat zone. That was hazardous duty pay, hazardous fire pay. That was separation pay if you were married, plus your BAS, your basic pay, and your BAH if you had a family at home, basic allowance for housing. And you had a couple other things. So all in all, if you were deployed, you could potentially be making, depending on your rank, anywhere from $1,000 to $1,400 more than what your regular base pay was. And all my battle buddies out there, if I'm wrong, correct me. It's been a minute, okay? All right, here we go. Here we go. He's going to pull it up. So if you follow the chart, Weston, come down to the corner. So those are the enlisted grades, okay? So that goes from E1, the lowest level private, up to Command Sergeant Major, which is an E9, which is the Command Sergeant Major of the Army, is the highest that you can get before you become an officer, right?
So that's the enlisted portion.
That's the enlisted highest of the high.
Yeah.
So if you look right now, E1 with 2 years in the Army, their base pay is, what's that, 17? That's higher than what I was getting at the time.
Right.
Way higher.
Right.
So we have had improvements. Now, Weston, if you go over to an E5, go to E6, which is what all right, so an E6, which is a staff sergeant in the Army, go to 9 years, Weston. That's about what I was making right there.
Yeah.
Now, that's tax-free. That's not including my housing allowance,
right,
which in Texas was based upon the zip code, the area that you live. So I could pay my rent because I lived off post. I could pay my rent and other utilities out of one check. Because when you live on post, the military still gives you your allowance, but they take the whole thing back because they say the housing that we put you in is sufficient for us to take your whole BAH back. I didn't believe that. So I'm like, no, I want to go rent and free up some more money for myself, right? And everybody does this. I'm not saying nothing that, nobody does.
Right.
So as you can see, the pay has gotten better.
Yeah.
If you are, and Weston can pull that back up, I can show you what you're making as a major or lieutenant colonel in the Army with 14, 15 years in. All right, so you go up to, okay. So right there at the top, Weston, so, you're starting at a 01, right? So you got a first lieutenant all the way up. So you're going up past that's captain, Then you got major, lieutenant colonel, colonel right there. So go over to what they be making like at 16 years. See what I'm saying? So depending on which route you go in the Army, whether you went the college route first, you're going to go.
So you went to West Point.
West Point, something like that.
You would go in as like an 04 probably.
You would go in around the lieutenant. I'm not sure how they do that. I know green to gold, you can go from enlisted to an officer. Yeah. And I'm not sure about that process. But as you can see, as the years increase, some of these things cap out. But in the officer field, if you can keep your nose clean, you can have a very, very good career. And this is the pay chart. Yeah. And it'll show you. So whenever people say rank has its privileges, they really do mean that. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, they really do mean it. Let me check in right here right quick.
Yeah, what's going on your Instagram?
All right, so we got Chelsea in here. Thank you, Chelsea. We got Dupree. Thank you, Dupree. We got Rose. Thank you, babe. Love you. We got some different people here. Thank y'all for y'all.
How many people you got?
So it's 4 right now, but I don't know if that's accurate. But I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hey, that's 4. That's 4 people that don't have to be here.
Right.
That's 4 people that don't have to be here right now. So I appreciate it. Tell us
about your injuries. Tell us about what's
injuries and stuff.
That kind of ended your career.
Okay.
That you decided that you were going to, you weren't going to sit behind a desk in the military or whatever it was that made you decide to exit. Right. That particular part of your life.
Okay. Real quick, Rose, babe, I know you don't want me to say nothing about you on here. I know you don't. Please don't hurt me for this, because you can hurt me. I want you to know that I hope you're having a good day. I'm not just saying this because I'm on live right now. You know that I mean this. In my heart of hearts, I am sorry. I love you. And don't kill me for this, please. But I need you to know this, like this. All right? I need you to know that. So, first tour, Iraq, 12 months, and my buddy Ryan was there. Mm-hmm. All right? Thank you, Ryan. He was there with me. He's in here right now. We got back, same unit. I was still in Texas. We just moved to a different part of the post. Most people know this. Fort Hood's the biggest military installation in the U.S. It is huge.
Gotcha.
We have Chili's. We have restaurants, schools. It's set up to where you don't have to leave post.
Gotcha.
Movie theaters, Captain D's.
So it's like a community inside
It's a community
itself.
Within itself. Yeah. You have car washes. You have AFES. You have electronic stores. You have the PX, the supermarkets. You have anything you need. Anyway, got back to Fort Hood. I think our dwell time, which means the time that we spent back home, was about 14 months. Majority of my good friends got out of the Army after our tour in Iraq.
Yeah.
They were like, we're done. We're good, right?
Yeah.
That hurt me because I didn't know what to do at that point. I was lost.
Yeah.
And I talk about this with Rose sometimes, like just sitting back and waiting and trying to figure something out or trying to push, right? And as I get older, I learn that I have to sit back. So at that period, I decided to re-enlist. I still had friends, but my good friends, Tristan and Rogers, excuse me, that's the same guy. My buddy Tristan and my buddy Sean, they had got out. They had families, went back to Florida, whatever.
Yeah.
I re-enlisted. I got orders to go to Afghanistan. Now, we have been training to go to Afghanistan. This is a different beast. And I'm trying to tell people, Iraq and Afghanistan is like Oak Tree Townhomes in Christiansburg and a rough neighborhood in Compton. And I'm not saying that Iraq wasn't dangerous. A lot of people lost their lives over there, and I'm not making fun of it. I'm not making light of it. I'm talking about if you've been to both theaters, the fighting is completely different. So we got orders to go to Afghanistan for 15 months.
Wow.
No breaks, no like, hey, you're cut for 15, we're going to do 15. The military now across the board, I think, has condensed their deployments to around 6 months, which is all somebody needs to do.
Yeah.
6 months is max mentally, physically, emotionally, I think.
Yeah.
I know people have done longer. So I get to Afghanistan. It's the most beautiful scenery and country I've ever seen, and the most dangerous at the same time.
Wow.
Okay. And it's just really hard to fathom. And there's so many different regions in Afghanistan that look different. It literally looked like somebody took a paintbrush and did a brush stroke into the clouds. That's how high the mountains went.
Wow.
I remember reading something that when the Russians tried to invade Afghanistan, the people that were born there, the Afghans that are indigenous, the first breath of air that they take is at 10,000 feet above sea level. Some people, they are acclimatized and conditioned for those conditions. They would go up higher than the helicopters could fly. Knocking away large boulders and pieces and trying to throw stuff down onto the helicopters to wreck them.
Wow.
I mean, resourceful beyond belief, right? Yeah. So that 15-month tour was very difficult for me. I saw people get hurt that I'd never seen before. I got hurt myself.
Yeah.
That is something that still is very difficult for me to this day to talk about because I don't understand it. A lot of people think that those tours, they saw the funny side because I may send a funny video or we're dancing or something like that. That's what we did to kind of decompress.
Yeah.
That I didn't want to share with my mom and family what I was really doing, what I had to do. Dave Chappelle has a quote that his mom gave him. He was getting bullied for a long time. And his mom said, sometimes you have to be a lion so that you can be a sheep that you are meant to be. What that means is sometimes you got to step out of your character to get back to your place of peace where you can be the person you want to be. Some of the things I had to do, that's not me.
Yeah.
But you have to do it. You have to be a certain type of way to stay alive.
Yeah.
And so Afghanistan was a lot of ground and pound. At this time, I think before I went, I'm a sergeant now. I got promoted to sergeant. And now I'm in charge of people. And now, people are directly looking at me for answers, for direction. Leadership,
yeah.
Right? Loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, personal courage. That's leadership acronym. Right? I was nervous because I was not only nervous for myself, but nervous to bring these guys home. I got hurt on that tour in a roadside bomb, right? The guys that were with me, some of them got hurt too. Like Clark was a gunner on the truck, Specialist Remlick at the time, Edgar Remlick. There was a Staff Sergeant Gibson was there. He's from Flint, Michigan. Some of these guys that I remember. We all walked away with minor injuries, but we walked away. That blast, the EOD team that came out and surveyed that blast, they told us we shouldn't have made it. And that's what stuck with me to this day because I don't understand why. I don't understand. And for somebody that's never been in an explosion before, think of the loudest thing you've ever heard, the most powerful thing you've ever felt for the shortest amount of time that you could experience it.
Wow.
Because it cuts your senses. It's like cutting off a PlayStation. Nothing. You hear it, and then you're out. You lost consciousness. You're out.
Wow.
So when you come back, when I came back, it felt like I was in a hamster wheel. There was no bearing. My entire bearing was off. I couldn't really hear anything. Ringing. It was black smoke. It was stuff. It was chaos.
Wow.
And that's as far as I'll go into that. But to be able to walk away from that situation, I didn't tell my family until I got home. I journaled about it, but I didn't want to tell anybody. One of my good friends, Specialist Batts, Kevin Batts, he told me, he was in that truck and he told me, Derek, I saw you at 1 second and then you disappeared. He thought I was done. He told me, Derek, you get a chance to do life better, so be better. And he didn't mean that I was a bad person.
Yeah. He
just meant that, dude, you have got a whole different chance to do this, to do it right, to do it different.
Feels like a free roll right now.
Free roll, yeah. And I wrote that down in my journal. Like Batts told me, I get another chance. Yeah. So I didn't take that lightly. But so that day scared me forever. I've been in gunfights. I've been in firefights, is what we call them. I've been in ticks. I've been in all these different things, and I've had to respond and I've had to react.
Does it ever give you a sense of, do you ever feel like, dude, I could be dead right now. So what's this mean? What's this mean? Like it's almost a a huge sense of power over your life to just do what you want to do. And I mean, obviously you want to take other people's feelings into consideration, but it's like, is this a big deal? I could be dead right now. You know, like it's not that big of a deal. I'm alive,
I would tell you, to try to answer your question, when you're deployed, any vets out there, you go into a mode and a mindset that you don't carry around with you on a normal day. It is survive mode, and you do have good times. Some of the best and worst nights of my life have happened in Afghanistan. You go into a mode where you're protecting the guy to the left and right of you and yourself, and the things that terrify you to this day were not as scary then because we just had to do it. There is no way, I'm telling y'all right now, there is no way nobody is going to get me to go back overseas and ride down any route that I've been before in a MRAP, in anything. I'm not doing it because I know what's over there. I don't have the courage to do the things that I did as a younger man anymore. I don't know why. I'm scared of everything. Well, I ain't no punk. No, don't run up on me now. I'm not no punk, but I'm scared. I'm scared of everything because I know that my life is no different than anybody that wakes up in the morning. You take a chance putting your feet on the floor. You take a chance getting in your car. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying my experience. There's no way that I would go back overseas. Now, if a call to duty came and they would take me in, like if we needed people, I'll go. But I'm saying to really go back and relive that, I don't think I have the courage. Because at the time, I can't tell you how it feels to be in a convoy riding down a road waiting for something to happen. That's a feeling I can't really explain to you.
Yeah.
Right? Especially when you've seen people not walk away from situations. That I stopped praying. I stopped calling home. I stopped really relying on any understanding that I had of what I was doing. All I wanted to do was go home. I was so depressed and nobody knew it. I just wanted to go home. And I couldn't, because let me tell you something. When you sign up for the military, if you have a rough day, so what? Drink water. Yeah. You don't like it? Drink water. This is too tough? Drink water. They don't care. Right?
They own you pretty much,
yes,
right?
You don't understand that. Like, if you get a sunburn because you didn't follow the safety protocol on the weekend and you were out on the lake and you get burnt and you can't perform your job or your duty, you can get written up for that because you're government property. So, like...
Oh, you're injured? Oh, great. Get up and go to work.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Advil, run. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and here's the thing. To anybody that's considering going to the military, I'm not trying to make it a nightmare. It was the greatest decision I ever made in my life. One of them. Yeah. One of the greatest. I love it to this day. I will always be a soldier. I will always support our nation's military. Yeah. I'm just telling you the other side that they don't tell you. If you have a bad day in Afghanistan, there is no going home. There's no, I'm going to go get my favorite Philly cheesesteak and sit on the couch and watch Bob's Burgers. There ain't, you know what I'm saying? You can go back to your hut on your little DVD thing and you can do it there, but there's no escape. So if you have conflict with the guy to the left or right of you, we go to the Connex. We'll figure that out. And we used to do that. But you still got to eat, sleep, breathe, go on missions, and that's day in, day out until you get to go home. There is no, hey, I'm checking out. Now, if you mentally can't take that, they will evaluate you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about just wanting the escape. Yeah. You're not going to get it. I don't care if you tell them, hey, my stomach hurts every day, my anxiety, this, that, and the third. Like, hey, you need to soldier up. So once you make that commitment, you're in. Right? Yeah. So fast forward that tour. So just to back up, first tour was 12 months. Second tour was 15 months. I come back. I get orders to go to Korea. I don't want to go to Korea. I wanted to stay stateside, right? I've been moving too much. I called branch. I had them redirect my orders to stay at Fort Hood. At that time, I reclassified my job, which means that I went back to AIT as an E5, E6 and had a little bit of a easier time because I'm not a trainee, but I'm learning a new job. So I'm there with the younger soldiers, right?
Yeah.
And I reclassified my job to military intelligence because I thought, one, it's a better job. 2, I get a top secret clearance because at that time you had to have a top secret clearance to hold that position.
Yeah.
So I thought about getting out of the military. That would be beneficial.
Yeah.
Top secret clearance.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
Now I have one. It's just inactive right now because I'm not actively using it.
Right.
But I still have it.
Right.
It just needs, but that's neither here nor there. But I was looking at the benefits of what that job could do. And I was thinking, hey, this is the other side of the military. Intelligence drives the military. I want to set myself up. I go to Fort Huachuca, Arizona, out in the desert, reclassify, right? Learned the job. It was like 18, 19 weeks I was out there, right?
Wow.
Came back, went to my new unit, still at Fort Hood. As soon as I get there, I'm introducing myself to everybody. One of the people asked, how many people in this room have been to Afghanistan? Me and one other guy raised our hand. Well, that's good because we're going to be leaning on you, Scott, because we got orders to go back. Get the out of here. Are you kidding me? I can't. I told myself I can't. I was scared to death. There's no way I can do another year in Afghanistan, right?
Yeah.
No way. Third tour, my buddy told me too, dude, 3 times the charm. He's like, you're out of here. He's like, you're not. He wasn't trying to be funny about it. He's like, but dude, you're not coming home. So I had to get it in my mind that I was probably not going to make it on this tour because you can't put yourself in certain positions day after day after day and expect the outcome not to be unfavorable.
So you did all that. You went to you got out of going to Korea. You reclassified, and then you got shipped back to Afghanistan anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, ain't that crazy?
Should have went to Korea.
Should have went to Korea. Right. Right. I should have sat still. Is what he should have said. Should have sat still. So, and it wasn't because I was trying to hurry up and rush something. I literally was trying to strategically think about my career.
Yeah.
Classifying to military intelligence was a great decision.
Yeah.
I learned a valuable skill. I learned a lot of skills. I basically became an interrogator. So a lot of people wouldn't believe that about me because of the way that I am.
Yeah.
Right? But I thought that I was just going to be in this cool room with all these cameras and, you know what I'm saying, like spy tech stuff and,
right.
all, like cool guy stuff, right? So you're right. I bypassed the orders to Korea. I bypassed everything and still wind up going to Afghanistan. We get over to Afghanistan. I'm in charge of a small group of people that do my job like me. We also reported to other agencies. And I did more missions on ground at 2:30 in the morning when all the bad guys were asleep. The Chinooks would take us in, 2 Chinooks. We would get off, pull security. We would then start our movement towards our objective.
Yeah.
We would be 4 clicks out. That way we would be far enough away we wouldn't give it away. And the reason we're going at 2:30 in the morning is because that's when you're relaxed. But you don't know I'm coming. And I'm hunting for you. And anybody that knows, it's anybody that's done a type of mission before, you want the upper hand. You want the cover of night. You want the, you know what I'm saying? So imagine 40, 50 soldiers mixed with A&A, Afghan National Army soldiers, because we were training them to conduct their own missions so that when we pulled out of Afghanistan,
they could do it.
They could do it and they would know how to do it, right?
Didn't work out too well.
Not the way we thought. But you can imagine looking in front of you and seeing 30 guys and this little probe infrared light on their helmets letting you know that they're friendly, right? We're out there. We're moving. Now, when we get there, we got JTEC, we got the Air Force guys, we got the guys with the bomb dogs, we got the whole team, Rangers, Pathfinders. I mean, I knew if some stuff kicked off, I'm with the best group of guys you can be with.
Right.
And if it was a clear night and, the only way you could go on a mission is if, the weather was clear enough where we can get medevac, 9-line in. So we would move into these areas. We knew exactly where the guy was we were looking for, and we would go in, and to gather intel, right? So most of the missions that we went on were, that early in the morning. And I'm not saying nothing is classified before somebody gets on here. You can literally get on YouTube right now and watch military operations from special forces that give you play-by-play on what they did on a mission. So don't Don't do that. So I picked a job I thought was going to be safer, but the job I picked put me in the line so much more than any other job I've ever had. Mm-hmm. I was outside the wire, outside the base 6 days a week, maybe 5 days a week. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Think about doing that for a year. So there was no way that I felt comfortable. So that was my third tour. So if you add up all my tours, that was 39 months in combat. And I did right at 9 years total of active duty. Yeah. So that was my military career. Now,
and you just couldn't stomach having to risk doing something like that again. So you just had to get out.
I had to get out, man. And I caught a lot of backlash for getting out. My family was worried that I was going to come back to an area and not be able to continue to progress and do things like that. But I was like, no, I have skills. I have a skill set now. Yeah. And they didn't know what I was going through. But there's no way I was going to go back anywhere after. I said, if I make it home, that's it.
Yeah.
I had reached my max on everything. And that tour, that third tour, I saw a lot of people get hurt. Yeah. A lot. That tour was crazy that year. And every day you're telling yourself, I'm no different from Scott. Scott's got a relationship with his family. Scott's loved by people. Scott's favored. So if something happens to Scott, it's definitely going to happen to me, right? I'm no different than you. Yeah. So that was the mindset that I had. And let me not speak in vain of those soldiers that I'm talking about, because I'm not. I remember that like it was yesterday. But I felt helpless in that situation. And it really opened up my eyes. And once again, I went into this shell, nervous, scared.
Yeah.
Everything bothered me, right? And so we finished out that tour, and I was just thankful to come home. And I dropped my paperwork as soon, like I'm talking about, like we got stateside, and I was already trying to clear. And they're like, you can't do that right now. You got to, and there were some other things that I was experiencing too. I was experiencing a lot of internal conflict within my own unit with some of my superiors. And I'm not going to lie to you. If I did not have someone in my corner to tell me to tighten up, to remember that where I'm at and have professionalism, I was trying to fight everybody. Anybody that said something to me, okay, let's see about it then. I had a bad mindset. I thought, and once people find out that they can wind your battery up easily, now this was me back in the day. I don't get wound up that easily now. Right. But when people find out that they can wind you up and watch you go, they'll do it. Because somebody will take a black eye to see you fall. Yeah. 100%.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I was mad about everything. I remember this guy coming to me when I was going to eat. I had my tray in my hand in Afghanistan, just getting our little food for the day. It was lunch or something. He bumped shoulders with me. So I looked up and he turned around and looked at me. I put my tray down. Let's go. Because obviously you feel some type of way. And you need to get that off your chest.
Wow.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine.
You can't imagine me being like that, right? But I'm like, I have a different side.
Yeah.
So we're outside throwing blows.
So y'all go to it.
We go to it.
Wow.
Right outside the DFAC.
Wow.
Bam. I'm working him.
Wow.
I get picked up by the back of my neck by my buddy, Staff Sergeant Lowe. I don't know if he's still in the military right now, but big old joker. He picked me up like I was a kid.
Wow.
Cussed me out, jerked me up. Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
He's like, are you crazy? I was like, but he's like, I don't care what he said. Don't never let somebody get you like that. And I learned from that day. I had a bad mind. It was time for me to go. Yeah. Like, I didn't like the way the politics were being ran. I didn't like the backbiting. I didn't like that the focus went away from the soldiers to like people's like.
Was this Obama?
At that time, yes. And let me tell you something about that.
Yeah.
When President Obama got elected, I was sitting in a chow hall in Kuwait going home on leave, because when you go home on leave, you go back to Atlanta, wherever you're going to fly into. So you're making, let's see, you're flying over, flying back. You're making 4 trips across the Atlantic in one deployment. That's a lot of flying.
Yeah.
That's 18-hour flight, 19-hour flight one way.
Yeah.
So I was in a DFAC in Kuwait. I was in there with a diverse group of soldiers. You can imagine 200 people eating.
Yeah. When
President Obama got elected, half of that room got up and left.
Wow.
Soldiers. That's your new commander-in-chief. I don't care what you feel about him. Got up and dumped their tray, barely eating anything. I watched it happen.
Wow.
They got up and dumped their tray. Now, the things I heard that I won't discuss on here, I was like, wow.
It's like that. It's still like that, huh?
It's still like that.
Wow.
How do you look at me then?
Yeah.
Am I not good enough to be beside you? Like, I'm out here doing missions with you too.
Right.
The stuff I heard in my unit was you. I mean, you couldn't even imagine the kind of stuff. And people always ask me, oh, there were still issues with race in the military? Largely.
Yeah.
Ask anybody that's been in. And the bad part is sometimes you can be a subordinate to somebody that has a personal bias against you. How can you treat me fairly and want to see me succeed as a soldier when you don't even really like me for something I can't control?
Yeah. Yeah. How are we going to be brothers in arms?
How are we going to be brothers in arms and do all these things and you feel that type of way about me? And there's no checks and balances to be able to investigate on why this person should be in a leadership position. Because let me tell you what happens. You blow the whistle and say that Scott is treating Winston unfairly because Winston's got dark hair. If nothing happens and you find out that somebody blew the whistle on you in the military, the the reprisal is immense.
Yeah.
They're going to come back at you. I mean, you're going to have a rough time.
Right.
So people keep their mouth shut. And then you're playing the card, then you're doing this, then you're doing that, right? But I'm telling you, in the military, probably still to this day, the reason that grocery stores and things have a sign that says shirts and shoes are required is because somebody came in there without them. The reason why the military has equal opportunity reps and things like that is because it's necessary.
Yeah.
Because everything is not favorable. So you're not only trying to stay alive from an enemy that doesn't care what your skin color looks like. All they see is the organization you're with. You're trying to control the infighting in your unit because we have cultural differences.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So got back. I knew I didn't have the right mindset. I knew I didn't want to deploy again. I wanted to do 20 years and retire. Unfortunately, my military career, it didn't happen like that. So I decided to get out of the military. Right after that, came home for a little bit. Started going back to school and GI Bill, spent 4 years in school to get my degree. Nice. And after that, graduating, looking into different positions and jobs and stuff like that. And now I'm here. Now I kind of gave you guys a little bit of a condensed version. There's a lot of stories, more than y'all guys got time for.
Yeah.
But that is pretty much what happened. And I don't take any of it for granted. I don't take any of it lightly. I'm very, very thankful for the friendships I've had, the experiences, my life, everything. But it did change me. It did. Yeah. I look at things a little bit different. Now, I would have never been able to see the countries I've seen had I not joined.
You're not the man you are today if you don't go through all the pain and and all that stuff that you've been through. Right. You don't have the patience today if you didn't at some point have no patience and then recognize that wasn't who you wanted to be.
Right. I thank God. I'm telling y'all something right now, and I hope I'm not going too long, Weston. My mom picked me up one day from Tetra, right here in Blacksburg. She told me, now I forgot to tell you this. The recruiter did call my house, and I forgot about this, and my mom was there. That's how she found out, right? But she didn't know I went to MEPS to sign up. I had taken the ASVAB a couple times because I wanted a certain score for job reasoning. Yeah. My mom picked me up. I had a rough day that day. These old women used to sit in these chairs on our assembly line at Tetra. I am at the end of the line making boxes up to put these fish tank filters in, 16, 20 a box, whatever I was running, wrap them in shrink wrap, send them through the oven, put it on a pallet, and then take the pallet into the other room. Yeah. They are sitting there dropping a filter in each thing, and they're coming, bruh. Coming. Let me tell you the anxiety I had. I was at the end of that line in tears as a young 18-year-old man because the boxes were falling off the conveyor belt. Yeah. The women are looking at me like, hurry up.
Yeah.
They
this
see
kid,
me,
this kid can't
yeah, this
hang.
kid can't hang,
Yeah.
can't keep up. That was the worst day for me.
Yeah.
My manager had to come out and tell them, hey, you see him struggling, slow up. So they got an attitude because they could sit on their butt and pass filters along. If I ever saw them women to this day, no, I'm joking. I'm over it. I'm serious. But like, so they're passing all these things down to me, right? Scott, they're falling everywhere. I'm costing the company money. I can't get ahead. They won't stop the line.
Yeah.
My boss, Tim, had to come out. And Tim came out and helped me out. My mom picked me up that evening. I sat in the back of the car. She told me, she said, Derek, I want to let you know something. I said, what? She said, the recruiter called. You got the score you wanted. One, I was scared because I didn't know she knew. But two, I cried like a baby in the back of that car. Cried, bro. I cried because I was like, I said, Lord, if you make a way for me to be able to get into the military, if you make a way for me, I promise you I won't quit. I promise you I don't care how hard it gets. I just wanted an opportunity. And there are people that try to sign up to this day that have asthma, that have had a knee surgery,
Have
that
a bad ankle.
bad ankle, something that limits them from getting to their dream. And to those people, I am sorry because I know that you wanted to serve. I am thankful that it went through for me. I cried from Tetra over here all the way to dudes driving because we lived on Starlight Drive.
Right.
I was just that thankful and happy. I told my mom, I was like, listen, I'm coming back, but I got to go do this, right? I got to touch a road. That's what Drake says, right? I got to touch a road. I was so happy. I went to a football game in Christiansburg that night or the next night. I had somebody very near and dear to my family. To this day, he's a grown man. Me and him could look at each other in the eye and talk about this. He said, Derek, what are you doing? I said, well, sir, I'm, just signed up for the military. No, you didn't. You're going to be right here. You didn't sign up for the military. You ain't got a lot of me, Derek. You're going to be right here. What, you going to drive a truck? You going to go work over here? I cannot tell you how mad I was when he told me that. It only fueled me to want to strive harder. Yeah. You're doubting me in my face and I'm being honest with you? He told me I wouldn't make it. I had family members that told me, oh, Derek, you ain't going to make it. I had family members talking about when I was 15 years old and didn't want to make my bed. So how am I going to make my bed now? Are y'all serious? Are y'all serious? Yeah. Like y'all are serious? 15 years old? I'm not the same person anymore. I had a choice, kind of, whether to make my bed or not at 15. They don't give you the choice in the military.
Right.
You come back and your bed is flipped.
Right.
So I had people telling me I wasn't going to make it that I share blood with. Do you know what that does to a person?
Yeah, I do.
You can't stop me.
Yeah.
Tell me I can't do something.
Yeah.
Tell me I can't.
Yeah.
I promise you, I'll die trying.
Yeah.
So that on top of I wouldn't graduate college. Okay. At that point, I realized I have to stop living for other people and only do things for yourself. Once you've accomplished what you feel like you need to, keep pushing yourself. But I'm just saying that those people that spoke to me before I went in only encouraged me and gave me motivation. The fuel
to your fire.
To push more.
Yep.
So
it's good stuff, man.
Hey, thank y'all for that.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't know what y'all was doing. y'all did not know what you were doing, but I thank you.
Yeah.
I do thank you.
I always lean on the story of my mom sending me the BT bus application, as the fuel to my fire to be a successful real estate agent. So it's the same stuff. It's like,
I remember your mom said, Scott, you can go drive this bus.
Yeah.
And you were like, yeah, they pay okay, but that's not me.
Right.
I'm not going to drive but nothing against bus drivers.
Yeah.
But when you know something in your heart that you're like, I know I'm destined for something and I'm going to go back to it. My mom said, Derek, Terrence, Zach, Andrew, Antonio, Matt, they found their niche. Go find yours.
Yeah. And look, if me rolling the dice and doing what I'm doing doesn't work out, I can always go drive the bus.
Always, but at least try.
Yeah.
That's why I always tell people, if anybody can look at my life when my Oregon Trail is done, know that I tried, know that I took risk, know that I did something that most people would not do. And the reason I did it is because I wanted to challenge myself, and I can say that I did it. I'm a dreamer, but I also reach out. Me being here right now was something I thought about years ago.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about this.
We've been talking about this for how long?
4 or 5 years at least. I mean, before you bought your house, we
Yeah.
were talking about it. We were strategizing a plan while we were viewing property, you know,
Right.
and we viewed property for 3 or 4 months,
3 or 4 months.
you know, that type thing. So
Dupree, 9 years, buddy, 9 years. So I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful for this opportunity. I'm very thankful to come on here and share my story today. I'm thankful for being here. I'm thankful for life's lessons. I'm thankful for things that if I had to do it again, I know now what to do differently. I know not to allow people to ruffle my feathers so easy. I know not to. I didn't know that people would dodge deployments. Did you know that?
Mm-mm.
I'm not saying this in a neglectful way because I don't want women to come after me, right? I am 100% respectful. I saw girls, women that would get pregnant right before deployments, right? I saw guys that would suddenly get hurt, or they're going to different units, or they're dropping 4187s to go to a different unit. I knew that people were figuring out when units were coming off of a tour
so they could dodge that.
so they could dodge that tour. Like, I didn't know all this. I thought that every tour that was handed me, suit up. But I didn't know that people dodge them. Here I am beating myself up over getting out of the military too soon.
Yeah.
And people were dodging tours.
Yeah. If you knew the game.
You know the game. It's all perspective, man.
Right.
You know, and that, let me say something else to the people. Go easy on yourselves. If there's one person you need to be kind to, it's the person that you look at every day. Because you can, and I know that's kind of left field, but you can literally take away your glory and things that you've done because of the way you feel about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So be kind to yourself. Be proud of the accomplishments that you've made.
Yeah.
Be proud of the sacrifices you've taken.
Know that you're enough.
You're enough. You are enough. You're enough. We are enough.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy to sit in front of the same people that doubted me and to tell them, not only did I do what I said I was going to do, but I love myself and I'm comfortable where I'm at right now. You know?
Yeah.
Like that's big.
Yeah.
That's big, man.
On our next show with you,
Yeah.
tell me how you feel about this. I want you to talk about how you feel about America today.
Ooh.
Can you do that? Don't get into it now. I want to
not,
say
but,
that I want to hear what you feel about this country today. A military guy,
yeah.
a local guy that's going to amplify his voice across this town and this area. I want to know how you feel about this country.
Right. No hard feelings, y'all. Because I'm gonna say what I feel.
Yeah.
And I can do that.
All right.
Yeah.
That's what we'll do. And dude, I want you to get at least a couple more pieces. I mean, you know, I'm obsessed with TikTok. I've already told you that.
Right.
You're not on there. You're not doing nothing.
I know I'm not.
You got to take some of this content, put it there on
Right.
your page. You got to do something there. I'm
Right.
encouraging you to do that.
We got time for a funny story?
Yeah.
So I was in AIT or basic. I can't remember which one. Everybody knows in the military, they give you these little cups, okay, to get something to drink, right? And it's water.
Like Dixie cups?
Like,
Dixie cups?
like, you know, like the little plastic cups that you used to get in like daycare?
Right.
You get 2 of those. You can get milk, water, unsweet tea, something. You're not getting no soda, no fried food, no nothing. 9-10 weeks, it's just meat, vegetable, starch.
Chicken rice.
Right.
Yeah.
Just, you know, but it tastes like steak, right? I thought I was being smart because everybody knows me, knows I love juice, right? And I need me a big cup and I'm gonna fill it up.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm telling you, like, this is what I'm gonna do. Like, don't be mad, right? You got your vices, I got mine. I thought I was being cool by filling up my cup and I took a drink of it. Well, I looked to the left and right of me and no drill sergeants were around, so I thought I was okay. So I went back to fill that cup up, like, I'm gonna double up. Man, I went to put that cup back up to my mouth. The biggest hand in the world covered that cup up. What the hell you doing? I was trembling. Drill sergeant, get out, flip my tray, had me go outside. I did push-ups, sit-ups, flutter kicks the entire time while my platoon ate.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And a hard lesson, but I mean, it was hilarious though, because like, where'd he come from?
Right.
How do you know I was doing that?
Just out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, bro. He just walked up, put his hand over top of the cup. You're done.
He must have been behind you. or
Yeah, he had to
something.
be.
You
Had
was
to
like-
be.
And he must have been like right at your shoulder. Or
Yeah,
something.
I mean, but those are just like little funny stories, man. I remember from being like, and the crazy thing is, it seems like those things didn't even happen, but I mean, it did. But I mean, Funny stuff, man. Yeah. But if anybody's out there encouraged to join the U.S. military in whatever branch, please do it. Even if it's for 3-4 years, if you want the experience, I'm not saying that anything's bad with it. If it's a dream of yours, go get it.
I mean, just the free college alone. I mean, What do you got to do, 4 years to get the GI Bill?
GI Bill. So the GI Bill starts, and you pay into it. We used to pay into it a little bit from your pay, and then they finish out the rest. Mm-hmm. And I think the GI Bill will cover 36 months of a trade, an accepted university, and they've expanded it now. Some people are using the GI Bill to learn how to be a welder or learn, so they have really expanded it. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm excited about the next show we got coming up. I want your perspective on the country, kind of what's going on, with the leadership of this country right now, what's happening in your opinion.
Yeah.
And, maybe we get some controversy out of that episode,
I'm sure that we will.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
all right.
On our path to 1,000 subscribers, guys, appreciate you guys paying attention. We miss you. We wish you a Merry Christmas. If this hits before Christmas, I don't even know. But anyway, Happy New Year. Hope 2022 is going to be one of your best years yet. And we're out of here. Talk to you next time.
Thank you all.